Most guys think they know how to finger a woman. The truth? They're doing it wrong and missing out on mind-blowing reactions. Master these 5 secret moves and watch her melt in your hands, beg for more, and crave you like never before. Ready to unlock her ultimate pleasure? Fingering is one of the most underestimated yet powerful ways to give a woman immense pleasure, if done right. The truth is, most men rush through it or treat it like a stepping stone instead of a destination. But with the right mindset and technique, your fingers can become her favorite tool for reaching overwhelming levels of pleasure. The key lies not in complexity, but in sensitivity, control, and intention. Let's start with what most men overlook entirely: anticipation. Anticipation is not foreplay. It is the art of seduction itself. Touch doesn't begin with your hands. It begins with your energy, your presence. You want her to feel your intention before she feels your skin. Look at her, not just with desire, but with the kind of focus that makes her body warm under your gaze. When your fingers finally come into play, they should already feel like a promise she's been waiting to be fulfilled. Start by teasing her through her clothes. Not just a quick graze, but slow, deliberate pressure through her thighs, across her hips, along her waistline. Your fingers should glide like whispers. Light, barely there touches create an ache that builds and builds until she's leaning into you, silently begging for more. That's when you know she's ready, not for penetration but for a deeper level of touch. Slide your hand over her panties and press your palm against her vulva. Hold it there. Feel the heat. Let her feel your stillness, your control. Then move subtly. Let your middle finger trace an upward stroke over her clit, still separated by the fabric. Do it again, slightly slower. Then pause. Let her hips chase you. That motion right there, her moving toward your hand, is your cue that she's engaged, turned on, and starting to surrender to your rhythm. When you finally slip your hand beneath her underwear, don't go straight for the clit. Let your fingers explore the outer lips first. Stroke down one side, then the other. Circle the entrance of her vagina without entering it. Every moment you hold back is another wave of tension building in her body. When you finally brush her clit directly, it should feel like an electric jolt, because you've taken your time to charge the moment. Use your fingertip, not the pad of your finger, and draw light, slow circles. Small ones. Then gradually make them wider. Pressure should be minimal at first, as if you're riding on her with air. Your goal is to awaken the nerve endings, not overwhelm them. Watch her body, her breath, her thighs, the way her back arches. These are all signals. She may not say anything, but her body is already speaking in a language your fingers can learn. If you feel her becoming wetter, that doesn't mean she's ready for penetration. It means her body is aroused. That's a green light to go deeper into clitoral stimulation. Add slight pressure. Switch from circular motions to gentle up and down strokes. Try a diagonal pattern. Then pause again. Let the absence of touch tease her more than the touch itself. Build tension. Withdraw just enough to make her crave it. Then deliver. When you finally decide to enter her, you do it with one finger. One wet, lubricated finger. Whether you use your saliva or her own arousal, it has to be slippery. Dry penetration is painful, jarring, and kills the mood instantly. Wetness is not just a sign of arousal, it's a requirement for comfort and pleasure. Slide that finger in slowly and only halfway at first. Let her get used to it. Let her body respond. Now curl your finger slightly upward. This motion, this slight curl, is the beginning of G-spot stimulation. But don't rush it. Once inside, pause. Let her muscles contract around you. Then begin the come here motion. Gentle, controlled, like a soft beckoning. Move in short strokes, focused upward toward the front wall of her vagina. If you hit a slightly textured spot that feels like a sponge, you found her G-spot. Don't press hard. Circle it. Tap it lightly. Observe. Now add rhythm. Increase speed gradually. Then pause again. Let her feel the contrast between stimulation and stillness. This contrast makes everything feel more intense. While stimulating internally, use your thumb to return to the clit. The dual stimulation, internal and external, creates a circuit of pleasure that can send her over the edge. But don't rush it. Stay with her. Let her guide the intensity. Match her breathing, her moans, her movements. When she's ready, and only then, you can add a second finger. Slowly withdraw your first finger halfway, then insert 2, coated in lubrication. Now your range expands. 2 fingers allow for a more substantial curl, more surface area, more stimulation. Return to the come here motion. Rotate slightly side to side, push up, then change direction. Explore her. Every woman's anatomy is different. Her G-spot might be higher, lower, more to the left. Use your fingers to listen. Her reactions are your feedback. If her hips buck, if she gasps, if she clutches your arm or the sheets, stay there. Keep the pressure. Maintain the rhythm. Do not switch it up. Women orgasm through consistency, not surprise. Once you've found the spot, keep stimulating it in the same pattern with the same pressure until she either orgasms or tells you otherwise. Don't stop just before she peaks. That's the quickest way to build frustration instead of release. You can intensify the stimulation by using the pads of your fingers, not just the tips. Flatten them slightly against the upper vaginal wall while still maintaining that curved pressure. Increase speed a little. Add firm circles or small thrusts, still curved. You're not pumping, you're sculpting. You're stirring her pleasure from the inside. If you want to go even deeper, consider stimulating the anterior fornix, the deeper area of the G-spot zone, further up and back. But only once she's fully aroused, or else it will feel uncomfortable. Use your longest finger to reach up and press into it with a soft, sustained pressure. Combine that with clitoral stimulation and a verbal whisper. Her name, something dirty, something loving, and you may unlock a level of orgasm she's never experienced. Let's talk briefly about clitoral stimulation while fingering. This is not just extra, it's essential for most women. The clitoris is where over 8,000 nerve endings converge. Use your thumb to press and circle it gently while your fingers stimulate her G-spot. This combination triggers both internal and external pleasure pathways, heightening every sensation. If your hands aren't in the right position, switch angles. Move your body. Her orgasm is worth the effort. Now let's say she's close. Her breathing is erratic, her thighs are clenching, her stomach is tight, her voice becomes broken or high-pitched. This is the edge. Do not change anything. Do not speed up. Do not slow down. Do not speak unless it's to encourage her. Let her ride it. Stay exactly where you are. Her body will do the rest. Some women will have full-body convulsions, some will moan uncontrollably, some will cry, some will be completely silent. Every orgasm looks different. But when it comes, you'll know. And if it doesn't come, that doesn't mean you failed. You've still given her waves of pleasure, and she'll remember how your touch made her feel respected, focused on, and desired. That alone can be more powerful than climax. Aftercare is the final, invisible step of fingering. Don't just pull away and roll over. Hold her, kiss her. Keep your fingers there gently. Let her come down slowly. Her body is in an altered state, filled with oxytocin and serotonin. If you stay present, calm, and loving, she'll associate that entire experience with emotional safety and crave it again. If she hasn't orgasmed yet but wants to continue, go back to clitoral stimulation. Switch positions. Let her sit on your fingers. Guide her hand over yours. Let her show you exactly what she wants. Fingering isn't about domination. It's about discovery, adaptation, attunement. You're not just giving pleasure. You're creating trust through touch. Every move you make should be with the mindset of, what does she feel? Not, what do I want her to feel? That difference is what separates mediocre lovers from transcendent ones. Use your fingers with patience, reverence, and focused intention, and her body will respond in ways that no other part of you can replicate. Understanding her anatomy is key, but understanding her is even more powerful. What kind of touch makes her shiver? What kind of rhythm makes her moan uncontrollably? What kind of silence does she fall into when she's overwhelmed with pleasure? These details matter more than technique. They turn mechanical sex into something unforgettable. There's also the emotional dimension of fingering. A woman who feels emotionally connected to you during intimacy will allow herself to go deeper, feel more, surrender more fully. That emotional safety turns her body into an open book, one that you read with every touch, every pause, every slow stroke. And when she knows you're not rushing, not trying to get somewhere, but just being with her, that's when she opens up in the most beautiful way. A good lover listens with his hands, not just to physical reactions, but to emotional ones. She may guide your hand, move her hips to shift your fingers, whisper what she needs, or say nothing and let her body speak. You have to be tuned into her every response, because when you are, your fingers stop being just fingers. They become a language of connection, a way of saying, I see you, I want you, I'm here for you. And once you master that language, no woman will ever forget the way you touched her.